And we are back, ladies and gentlemen. Oh, I almost caught you this time, Rob. Oh, getting close. I'm getting good with that trigger finger. Did someone just pop when I said trigger finger? What is this? Like the Rugrats version of Compton? Jesus,
Sorry,
Murphy.
I'm a child.
So, when we last left our heroes, finally arriving in the great city of Rock of Brawl, the party began their trip with a little trip down to the marketplace, where Sicarius needed to pick up a new weapon after losing his in the battle against Captain Marcus. While there, V with her brand new instrument decided no.
Wait,
No.
hold on.
This is what you missed last week, Bobby. This is what you missed. So, are you sure you don't want to have COVID still? I'm just asking right now as a friend.
I'm feeling a little under the weather.
Yeah, I can understand. V, with her brand new instrument, decided to start up a little jamboree of sorts, as many of the patrons of the marketplace begin to dance and sing in joy. A large scream was heard as the townfolk gather around, including some of our party members, their eyes laid onto a victim dead in the streets. 2 large puncture wounds in the side of their neck, with a silvery liquid essence spilling forward. After some level of investigation, the party deduced that this could have been the work of a mythological creature within the astral realm, the Voidpyre. Believing that they needed to gather some more intel on this strange creature, Basil and Tristan made their way to the Library of Spheres. There they were able to speak with the curator, learning a little bit more about the history of said creature, as well as ways to potentially destroy them. Also receiving from the curator a map of some underground tunnels, mines, if you will, that had been used to build up the city proper. Leaving the Library of Spheres, the two headed to Elmander's observatory to ask a bit more about the astral plane in general, as well as potential ways out. There they learned of the starscapes, large clusters of colors high up into the night sky that would transport them from one plane to the next, albeit randomly. Elmander explained to them that there might be some objects, artifacts, that would allow them to navigate similar to a compass or more a tuning fork that would allow them to utilize some of the starscapes to get themselves back home. As they left the observatory heading back to the Happy Beholder, they met with the rest of the party, where poor Grimoire seemed to be having a bit of a rough go. It seemed he had gotten into something known as Babbitnip, causing strange and disturbing commentary towards his good friend Oksana. Not feeling so well, the young Babbitt made his way up to one of the rooms to sleep it off a little bit. The party then traveling to the mine areas, where deep underground they found themselves in quite the battle. 2 of the Voidpyres seemed to have captured a number of other townspeople, leaving them in giant cages. And the mighty heroes that they are were able to vanquish the Voidpyres. But not before seeing a strange sigil on their chests. A metal hook with a single drop of blood falling off of its tip. And so, Our story continues. This is all your fault. This is all your faults.
We're getting used to some new software that picks up every little noise that we make.
Clearly.
Excuse me. Sorry.
I was waiting for someone to make a fart joke.
Yeah.
With that said, Oksana, you continue to stare down in disbelief as Sicarius begins to move over to some of the cages, freeing some of the captors.
I have seen this symbol before. Everyone, come here. Look at this. This one, right here, with the hook and the drop. I have seen it. A creature of some kind told me.
Here we go. Here we go. Recount
Laugh at
it.
me, guys.
Sorry.
A
This is
creature
the
of some
symbol.
kind.
Listen, it was confusing experience, okay? This is the symbol of Ajax.
Interesting. What is it doing here on these Voidpyres?
I have the same question.
Wait, where did you see it before again?
It was told to me that this was the symbol of Ajax.
Fuck you guys.
I wish that Grimoire was here.
No, get real. All of you get wrecked. It's hard to remember things.
Alright, so you saw this symbol somewhere once in your lifetime.
Please, no. It was told to me that this was the symbol for Ajax. When we were going out of the god's butthole, we remember
Yes.
this, yes?
What a lovely memory, yes.
Yes. Grimoire told me, not Grimoire.
That's true. He's a weird
I
creature.
I'm sorry. I'm still drunk from tavern before. It's no problem. A creature appeared to me and Grimoire and told us that this symbol was for Ajax and that he was responsible for the things in the mines. This is what I'm trying to say.
It's clear now. Clear. I
Great.
understand. The question is now, why does Ajax... Well, what is Ajax doing with these Voidpyres, and how would the Voidpyres help him with all his mining and stuff that he's doing?
Is he collecting blood? It would not be the first blood he's after, yes? He's creepy like you. I point to Tristan.
I was gonna say, which one?
Tristan turns around and looks behind him.
All right. Well, what should we do? Should we... Is there anything else around in the cave? Or is it just, the dead Voidpyres everywhere?
You see the dead Voidpyres, as well as you continue to have this kind of low-key conversation, hearing the screams of help coming from the caged individuals all around you.
Oh my god, I forgot!
I'm getting them out, so while you guys are talking.
Whoops.
Right.
Coming.
Well, if Oksana and Sicarius, I almost said Rob, Sicarius are whatever, uncaging the people. Oh my god, I can't speak tonight. This is great.
That's
It's
a great
going
start.
great for all of us.
Why does this remind me so much of Campaign 1?
Everyone's truly in rare form today.
Okay. V would like to sort of analyze the Voidpyres and see, pull up their gums and see if they have spiky teeth or anything.
So I'm releasing him, and you're like giving him exams.
No, not the people! The Voidpyres!
Oh, okay.
What the
before we let you free, we just want to make sure that your dental hygiene is good enough to head back to the city. Fantastic. V, go ahead and Jesus Christ.
You broke her. She's got ultrasonic. You broke her.
Okay, V, go ahead and make a medicine check for me, and maybe pull your mic a little bit closer to yourself.
Okay. Whew. That's not bad. Medicine, 14.
Okay. As you stick your finger into their mouths and begin to swirl it around, kind of probe it a little bit, poke on the inside of the cheek, you find teeth. More specifically, 2 sharp teeth.
Okay. It's as I suspected. Someone else go!
What you're doing? Why do you have your finger in her mouth?
I like how she's like, somebody else go, and she shoots it immediately back to you.
Hello?
Guys, my makeup is just watering.
Shouldn't you help the prisoners?
I thought you had it.
I was distracted by this strange behavior.
Rob.
At this point, Basil has now started to make his way over to V as he leans down. Hey, V! What are you doing here?
No! I can't do this episode. I quit.
She go.
Okay.
What'd you find, V?
Well, your voice sounds a little bit odd today, does it not?
I get a little excited after combat. Oh, boy.
That's weird. Right. Well, I discovered, as I suspected, that they have pointy teeth that they use. I can't. Fuck. That they use.
Yes, they are Voidpyres. This is feature of those things. We were told this many times.
Yes, I know. I just.
Let me help you up. I'll pick her up. Let's go free the prisoners. Yes?
Oh my god.
Okay, you guys do that. I'm going to stay here and doodle.
You have fun, strange one.
Basil begins to sit down and begins sketching the inside mouths of the vampire.
Am I still the weird one around here? Just asking.
Nope.
I wish I could say. Okay. I'll walk up to, I don't know, the cage nearest to me and attempt to free a prisoner.
Okay. As you walk over to the large cages, you see a number of the captives inside of the cages. 4 large cages to be exact. As you walk over to the doorway, you see a large padlock on the outside. A few of the prisoners yelling towards you, "Please, please help us."
Oh, I miss Eli right now.
Well, let's look at the bodies to make sure that they don't have a key on the vampires.
Oh, I was just gonna try to break the lock. Just
Very
grab it and
intelligent.
break it.
But wait, we should make sure they're
Paint
not
me yellow and
infected.
call me
Oops.
banana.
Infected?
Hold on.
Crying,
I forgot
laughing
to turn
here.
off the
Great
alerts.
start
Sorry, hold
seems
on.
good.
Oh
Chat,
my
don't listen to
God.
that. We'll fix that in post. Okay, we're good. Oksana, as you begin to pull harshly on the lock, go ahead and give me a strength check, please. Or athletics.
Athletics. 8.
8. You continue to pull with all of your might, but just the heavy metal of the large lock doesn't seem to want to budge.
Somebody help! I
Oh,
cannot
well,
get it open.
I'm feeling a little weak right now myself, so. Do we have anybody else?
Can anyone pick the lock? Where is Grimoire?
Again, why don't we look at the bodies to see if there's any keys? So I'm going to go to the down foes and check their bodies to see if they have a key on them.
Okay. Go ahead and make an investigation check for me.
Oh, boy. 18.
18. Looking through the secondary body of the Voidpyre, the one other than which Basil is currently drawing, you begin to pat down, looking in a few of its pockets, and do find a key. However, you also find a beautiful polished, circular, round stone, or gem. You're not very sure. But it's a very odd gemstone, as you've never seen anything darker in your entire life, as if light has simply disappeared in its presence.
Toss. Hosanna. And I toss the key towards her. And I study the stone a little bit more. Hey, you guys. This is quite interesting. And I hold it up for everybody else to see.
It's very pretty.
I'll
Maybe
unlock
it'd be worth
the
money.
keys first.
Okay. Oksana, as you open the door, letting some of the prisoners out, a number of them run past you, thanking you, in haste, to say the least. However,
Wait, before you all go,
Bye-bye.
You're welcome.
are you all from the village up there? Were you doing anything? We will just grab the closest person and say, what were you doing when you were kidnapped? Person napped.
the individual that you grab looks to be a relatively young tiefling girl. Her skin a beautiful purple. Tears now kind of welting up in her eyes. I was just in the marketplace. I was taken from there. Strange creatures came up and grabbed a few of us.
And what have they been doing to you down here in the meantime?
She, with wide eyes now, tears starting to stream out of her face. Please, speak to Layla. Please, I need to get home. I need to get home. As she kind of breaks away from your grip and begins to follow some of the other individuals out the door.
Goodbye.
Who is Layla?
Yeah. Oh, we didn't know. I thought when I zoned out, I missed something. Who is Layla?
As the last person begins to leave the cage, she saunters out a little bit slower than the rest, as she stands as best she can, toe-to-toe, to Oksana. I am Layla. Thank you very much for your assistance here. I wasn't sure if we were going to make it out alive here.
I am glad that we could help and that you are okay.
Well, it's all thanks to you, nonetheless. I would, I guess, say that I was leading the group to a certain extent. Not the Voidpyres themselves, but some of the captors, trying to keep them in good health and good spirits as best as I possibly could. I hope I can provide you any information about our whereabouts and anything else you might need to know.
Were you taken by Voidpyres or by Captain Ajax?
Not sure of this Ajax individual you speak of. Myself, I was late one night tending to one of the sails on the astral ships. Before I knew it, I was jumped by those two creatures there that lie dead on the floor now.
Did they bite you? Or no?
No, the poor souls on the tables that you can see there, or altars, whatever the hell they called them, they were the only victims that were fed on.
Did they speak, these Voidpyres? Did they say anything of Ajax?
Again, I'm unsure of this Ajax you speak of. However, we did hear the captors speaking of a place, somewhere that they were going to be taking us, the Yara system.
Yaris?
Yara.
Yara. You
There's
should
that.
take this information back to Marcus. Not Marcus.
No. No.
Jed.
Dead.
Jed.
It's all the booze, isn't it, Oxa?
Besides feeding on you, the
It makes
prisoners
me
down
better
here,
fighter. What can I say?
did they do anything else besides use you as a snack down here?
Well, they kept us in fear for the most part. Fed us occasionally, but otherwise let us be. I'm sorry, I wish I knew their schedule of when they were planning to take us to this Yara system, but they would only say so much in our presence.
Were there other ones here, or just the ones that are now dead?
There was another that came, unlike the rest of them. Pale green skin, bald head as well. His nose slightly strange. Spoke in a very creepy voice.
Did he have a name?
Name was not given to us.
Did he seem like the one that gave the orders around here?
He would dictate some things to the Voidpyres, yes.
Interesting. Right. Are there other ways out of here, or just this way that we're all leaving?
We've searched quite a bit in the general area. That seems to be the only way out of this area. As she motions towards the tunnels.
Did the leader have any features on him that would be easily recognizable?
It's... Other than the strange facial features. He wore a very dark cloak over top, obscuring most of his attires and wear.
Was he tall, short?
He was a taller, slender man. It was his voice, though, that... It was like grating. It was almost as if a cackle could come off his breath at any moment.
I thank you for this.
Least I could offer. I would be glad to help some of the other prisoners make their way out. I'll ensure that they get home safe, wherever that home may be.
It's very kind of you.
One
Very
last
kind
thing as
indeed.
well, and she looks over to Sicarius. The gem that you held up.
Yes, what about it?
I'm not sure of any language it might have been, but the Voidpyre creature, whatever you want to call them, held up the stone and made a sound into it.
Do you think you could repeat that sound?
It's a bizarre sound, almost like clicking.
So what, they just hold it up and click into it?
No, they would hold it up to their mouth, and a strange clicking noise would resonate from them.
And what would happen to the stone when they did such a thing?
Nothing at all.
Did these Voidpyres, did they happen to make the clicking sounds without using the stone as well?
Yes, a few times towards one another.
So it's possible this is a communication stone.
That's what I was thinking. The only time they spoke in common was when that strange man arrived. He was the one who told them that we would be going to Yaris.
Strange.
Yaris or Yara?
Yara.
Yara.
It's good to know. Maybe it works both ways. Maybe if they try to communicate, we'll be able to hear and intercept what they're trying to say or do.
Perhaps. Is it your intention to go after these creatures?
Absolutely.
Best of luck to you then. They seemed quite vicious in their attack against you. They showed no mercy to those that they snacked upon.
And for that, they must be destroyed.
Okay.
This group is so intense. Yes, we're quite the people who fight for vengeance. Yeah, so seems we will be risking our lives to try and save the city from these Voidpyres. Wish us luck.
I'm sure if this is something that the city needs, they'll offer their assistance where they can.
That's interesting that you say that, because when I sort of asked, unfortunately we saw someone murdered, blah blah blah, V recounts the last incident. What? Okay, you want me to...
No, just the added blah blah blah. Yeah, we watched someone get murdered, blah 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 blah. Like, watched far too many true crimes. Yeah.
Yeah,
far too many true crimes.
What was most interesting, besides the fact that this innocent person died, was that when I asked the sort of crowd, is there anyone who oversees this? Everyone sort of left, like as if I made it awkward. So when you say people would assist us, or the city would assist us, where would that be and who would that be?
Unfortunately, murders here are, well, a bit too common at times. However, something of this magnitude, had they known that we were being captive, round up like cattle, I believe someone from Starhaven Palace would have likely done something about it.
Starhaven Palace. Let me write that down in my mind palace. V closes her eyes. Right. Should we try there first then, do you think? Before we...
I would like to go get Babbitt. Grimoire.
Right, of course, we get Babbitt, but then our first step in taking our vengeance against these creatures is going to the Starhaven Palace.
I think we should also talk to Jed.
Yes, see if he...
Perhaps he can come with us.
Yes. I'd like that, I think.
Yes.
But
Shall
weren't we told that there could be possible a reward for turning in or handing over these Voidpyres?
Living or dead?
Well, I don't know.
Well, let's pick them up.
Drag it in.
We're going to drag some Voidpyres around the city now. That is what we are proposing.
Yes.
Just
I'll try to put one over each shoulder.
Oksana, you can easily pull both of them over top of your shoulders.
Just think of the street cred.
So, how many were there again? I forget. Were there 3 or 4?
I thought there were 2.
There were 2.
Oh,
Two.
2. Okay.
2.
Oh, Oksana, you are so strong.
Yes, I know. Thank you. She'll
Right.
not. Shall we?
As you begin to leave, Basil begins to recount the fact that it was, in fact, the curator Shamish of the Library of Spheres that was offering a reward for the bodies, dead or alive.
Oh, all right. All right. Do we get Babbitt first, Maybe you stay outside while you're holding the bodies, and then we get Babbitt. Are we
Yes,
calling
I
him
would-
Babbitt in game now? Just Grimoire.
Whatever you want me to be, baby.
Oh my god, no!
I would prefer that we go get him first. I don't want to be separated from him for too long. Just in case. I know he was not feeling well.
That sounds like a very good plan.
All right. Tristan, are you going to do your thing where you put coins on all the dead people?
So Tristan is looking around the room if there is anything, and if there is, once he's done that, he would put coins on the eyes of the people around.
See, we know each other so well now. It's almost like we're best friends, right, Tristan?
Yeah. Maybe someday I will give you 2 coins too.
Was that a threat?
No. Why would it be?
It seems you only put coins on dead people, Tristan.
Yeah, but I don't kill them all.
It will now be my goal to outlive you.
We shall see.
What the fuck, man?
Okay, can we get going? Whatever the
Yes.
fuck this is. Okay.
I don't know. Tristan seems to
I'm
not
quite
like
done
me.
with the sewers here. Let's get topside again.
Yes.
Yeah, I agree.
As you make your way out of the sewer system, the old mines, if you will, you make it back to, well, topside, we'll say. You begin to make your way back through the city proper, and you find that there really isn't many people out at this point. It seems that this would be night, if you will. Where are we going?
To
Kick Grimoire.
get Grimoire.
Okay.
I knew what it was called.
Happy Beholder.
Yes. Happy Beholder.
I wasn't even here last week. Come on.
Doesn't take you long from where you were, roughly 20 minutes to make your way back to the Happy Beholder. Lights still on inside of the establishment, a few drunkards still scattered out on the outside. The noise level has significantly reduced. Making your way up to the double doors, Oksana, are you staying outside or are you going in?
I don't suppose anyone wants to hold this for me.
No, I think you should stay out here, Oksana. I think you would terrify the patrons inside with 2 dead Voidpyres.
Alright. Please, go get Grimoire. And talk to Jed.
All right. Should maybe one of us stay with Oksana?
I'll stay with her.
Perfect. My new companion, Tristan. Let's go.
And Basil, who's totally there too.
All right, Basil. I always forget about him.
We locked him in one of the cages before we left.
All right, guys, let's go. As
Jesus
you
Christ.
enter into the tavern. Again, the interior is very well soiled after a night of debauchery, as it would be no less in a tavern of this place. You can see that large Luigi is standing behind or floating softly behind the bar rail. It seems cleaning up some of the mess, as well as a number of the barmaids also cleaning off a few tables around some of the remaining patrons.
Well, Tristan, why don't you find Jed?
Yes.
I'll go find. What?
Wasn't Jed with the lady? I'm not going to go and see him. He's busy right now. We'll
That
see him
was-
when he gets out.
But that was like hours ago.
Oh,
Jesus
okay.
Christ.
Jed's legendary stamina.
Just saying, his constitution is like 80.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
I knew
Let's get Grimoire first, and then we'll ask around if anyone has seen Jed. How about that?
Tristan is looking around to see if he sees Jed.
Oh my god.
Like it's a big place where you want to ask for.
Admirable.
While you look around, you remember in the back of your mind the seeing Jed go upstairs for the evening with one of the barmaids, followed shortly after Grimoire for a night's rest.
Oh, come on now. Okay.
Exactly.
Fine. Jed is sleeping. Or whatever, with a person or by himself. Let's go get Grimoire. V will just start walking.
Okay. You make your way up to the upper area and see a number of doors.
Okay, V turns around and goes back down and asks the bar, "Excuse me, my friend.
Oh, yes. What can I do for you?
I'm looking for the room our friend is in. Grimoire. Little ears."
The little white thing with the waffle thump.
Yes, for a minute I forgot what that was.
Pork. Come on, man.
I know pork, but I just forgot it was called a waffle thump, and I thought Dave was being funny. Anyways, okay. Yes.
Yes, I
That's
gave them
Grimoire.
the room number that they would be staying in is room 6.
Thank you. So kind. I'm going to go pay our friend a visit, if that's all right.
By all means, a million welcomes.
How are things going?
Cannot complain in the slightest.
How is Jed? Is he still with a woman?
I haven't seen him come back downstairs in a while, but I'm assuming he's having himself a good evening. Seemed a little put off after the conversation you had the other day. Oh,
Right. Just make sure when you see him again, if you see him before us, that you just reassure him that we are on his side. Then we
course.
understand.
I'd be happy to.
All right. Goodbye. People turn up the stairs to go get Grimoire.
Okay. You make your way up the stairs, knock on door number 6, and it creaks open, only to be
Nope,
met
it's
with
locked. Password.
Grimoire, it is V. Please
Mm.
open the door.
Where's everybody else?
Tristan is floating around being creepy and threatening as usual. Oksana is outside holding 2 dead Voidpyres, and Sakaris is with her, keeping guard.
I'm
And
actually
Basil
right
is-
behind me.
Did you
All
hear
right,
that?
that's good enough for me. And he opens the door.
Grimoire, so lovely to see you. How are you feeling?
I'm feeling a lot better. I don't know what that stuff that Basil gave me did to me, but I don't think I ever want it again, ever.
Sometimes you don't get a choice.
I guess not. So
All
you
right.
guys killed the things who did a good job?
Yes, we did. We found out some curious information, and for brevity's sake, we will recount everything that we learned in the cave or cavern or whatever. And yes, so now we need to go see if we can get some money for the Voidpyres, maybe some information as well.
All right, let's fucking do it then. I'm ready to go at any moment. Pork, come on.
Hello, Pork.
As it walks closer towards Grimoire, it kind of looks up at you, and you could swear it gives you a bit of cut eye.
Me or Grimoire?
V.
Oh.
Yeah,
It
he
doesn't
likes
seem
me.
to like me. Why is that?
Well, that's his happy face. Should get going.
All right.
Tristan will kneel and try to pet the pork chop.
Okay. Go ahead and make an animal handling check for me.
Oh, that's going to go very well. That's a 16.
16. As you bend down, the strange creature begins to coo towards you as it pushes its head up against your hand. Very much like a common house cat.
It's a good pork.
He's a
Good,
pork, isn't
whatever
he?
you are.
All right. Well, I think we should head down because I do have to apologize, Roxana, for being a bit of a weirdo. If I'm being honest, like I don't know
Yes.
how else to say it.
You were a little bit off-putting, yes. Do you think we should tell what's his name? I forget his name. What is the guy's name that's friends with Jed, owns the bar, beholder guy?
Luigi.
Luigi?
Luigi.
Large Luigi.
Should we tell Luigi or wait, maybe?
Tell him what?
About the Voidpyres, that they are real and that we've killed 2 of them and there are more.
I don't think he really cares.
Okay, all right. I suppose
He
we can.
seems to have his own thing going on here. I don't think he. It's not really his. I don't know. Deal.
All right. Okay. Let us go back to Oksana.
Making your way back
Good.
downstairs, the 4 of you head outside to see your 2 companions there.
Oh my God, she's dead. No, I'm just. Roxana, it's so good to see you again.
Little man. I'll like
I feel like
squat, but still holding the body so he can climb up.
he'll skitter up one of the bodies and then onto like the back of your shoulders, and it'll get in your ear and it'll be like, "Listen, I really don't know what that was all about yesterday. I think I learned I'm not going to take things from Basil anymore.
This is
It
a
made
good
me feel
lesson.
really funky, and I just want you to know I'm still your little guy, all right?"
Little man, it's no problem. You are working on your confidence. You overshot. It's all. Right?
Maybe that's
No
what it was. I don't know.
You are still my favorite. And she'll give him like a little nuzzle.
Good job with these things, by the way. He'll slap one of the bodies.
I cannot take full credit. It seems we are a good team. And she'll look around and nod at everybody.
Good. What was that
Team.
description that the lady gave y'all again? About the person that came and talked to the Voidpyres here?
How do you know of this? You are not there.
Well, no. B caught me up on everything, actually.
That's true.
So,
Tall, black cloak, strange features, flat nose, pale skin.
Bald.
with a
Green skin.
bald
Green.
Green skin.
pale green skin.
Yeah.
does that
and
sound... Forgive my memory here, but does that kind of sound like Marcus? Was Marcus tall and skinny? Everything else... I mean, he had a weird voice, right?
I suppose.
Did he have a weird nose, though?
Yeah, I mean, well, that's kind of rude to put it that way. But him and Jen both have those like sort of that like almost cut off, but not really noses.
Oh. Did we just completely let that slide over our heads?
Probably. You guys don't pay
Probably.
attention to what other people talk.
You know,
to
we just got through battle. We're not thinking straight.
I was
Yeah.
still drunk.
Yeah, I have a clearer head because I haven't been trudging around the sewer all day.
We could have used many of your skills. Your sharp vision in the sewer. Your
Yeah, but
teeth
what-
to unlock the crates.
From what V tells me, it almost seems like I was perfect for that mission. I'm sorry, I had to sit it out.
So,
We
we head on our way to the
Go
library
ahead.
to get paid for these things.
Yeah,
So you don't have to carry them all day.
Basil,
Yeah?
Do you feel like sitting this one out, or do you want to come with us?
I mean, a trip to the library is always a good time in my books. Get
Oh,
it?
For fuck's
Oh.
sake. Jesus Christ.
You might have
thought I
gotten
would-
into the Babbit.
Yes, I think he might have. Did you have some Babbit nip?
No, not at all. I gave that all to Grimoire.
Okay.
Great. All right. Well, let's head on over there.
Let's go. Let's go. God.
Making your way over to the Library of Spheres. For those of you who hadn't seen it last time, you approach a large tower. At the very peak of the tower, you see a giant sphere that sits atop. Tristan and Basil lead the way in as you enter through the doorway. You will find yourself climbing, winding up a large staircase that runs the internal perimeter of the tower itself. A few of the sages kind of give you a strange look with the two bodies flung over your shoulders, Oksana, but no one says anything. As you make your way up to the final flight of stairs, you find yourself what would be inside of the sphere fixed atop the tower. Large windows that stretch from floor to ceiling that gives you a perfect outer view of the city. It takes but a moment. However, Basil is easily able to find Curator Seamus. It seems you have done a wonderful job, I see. Are these the creatures that are known as the Voidpyres?
Yes. I will very messily just literally drop them wherever I'm standing.
Oh, well, that's gonna stain the rug, but nonetheless, I made a promise. As he reaches to his side, pulling open the tome, reaching his hand directly inside, you see a small glow of light. As his hand seems to penetrate through the pages, he goes about wrist deep into the novel before reaching back out with a small satchel of coins.
Reminds me of Basil. I'll take that. Thank you.
He
He
hands
will
it
reach
over
out
to
and-
you. I hope 50 for the two will do just fine.
He would.
Well, 50 gold, of course.
Oh my god.
This is a lot of money, huh, Babbit?
I've never even seen that much money before in my life.
Wow.
We will put it in her satchel. I think this will do. Thank
Don't
you.
trust her with the money. just whisper in your
You
ear.
just put a pocket it off.
We will split that later. And I grab her, like, on the shoulder.
Sure. I'd love for that.
Mhm.
As Oksana grabs onto your shoulder, she squeezes a little bit harder than usual. It stirs up a strange level of uncomfort for you, V. Enough to perhaps give you disadvantage on your next skill check.
Wow.
Dark.
V will try and take the awkwardness and turn it into something and just say, could you squeeze a little harder on the other side? It's almost like a massage.
I'll, like, recognize what she's doing and just tap her. Like,
Oh, it's anticlimactic, but thank you.
Now tell me, these creatures, what were they like? How did they move? Did they say anything or make any kind of noises?
Well, we were told that they make clicking sounds to communicate, or so it seems. And they're very, very. They don't like light. That's one thing we do know.
Interesting. Almost like echo-sensory.
If you say so.
Oh, interesting theory. I like it.
Is there anything else you can tell me about the activities or the movements, anything at all about the creatures while they were still alive?
They seem to move pretty fast and swoop down on their victims.
Seems like there may be more of them as well. Also led by someone. Wait, does V know that Marcus was there?
I don't think V knows anything tonight.
No, but Tristan and Basil were there with this guy before, right?
Mm-hmm.
And Marcus walked in at that exact moment, right?
No, it was not
No.
at the same place.
Oh, not the
Different
same place.
place, but he did tell
Okay,
you.
okay. Sorry.
Got it.
Okay. And there's someone else who may be leading this group, or I don't know, working with them. It's hard to tell at this point. We think it might be Marcus, if you're aware of that person.
I'm familiar with the name Marcus. However, this is quite disturbing. And you
Why
say
so?
they were just scurrying about in this cave.
No, they were collecting people. A bunch of people were being captured and locked up in cages. And as you
It
can
seems
see,
they were
have the
taken
little-
from the market.
the symbol was carved into their chest, right?
Of
The
the
symbol?
yes, yeah.
Yeah.
And then just rip open, and they had these on their chest, of course.
Interesting
point out.
sigil. I've never seen it before myself. However, I will look into the tomes and see if there's anything in our archives that might give some answer to what it means. Where are you staying?
The Happy Beholder.
Very good. I'll send word if I am able to find anything. At this point, Basil speaks up. Perhaps I can help. I always love reading books. Well, you're welcome to stay and help us research if you'd like.
Settle down, Basil.
No way, little man. This is my kind of jam.
Right.
I think for his own safety, he should stay back.
Yeah. Acting really funny.
He seems not himself.
Yes.
All right.
Do you
What
by
are we
chance
gonna-
know where the Yara system is?
Yara system.
One of the captors were mentioning that that's where they were going to be taken.
Well, Yara system, it's not familiar with. However, there is history behind that name, to say the least. Yara was one of the larger bodies of the dead gods.
So Yara is a body, a god, a former god anyway?
I believe so. Yes, she was known as the goddess of the harvest.
Well, it's probably not good.
Oh.
Well,
Any
'cause
weird connection with Essence, by any chance? Because these Voidpyres were sucking essences out of people.
Oh, no, nothing I know of the blood essence that you speak of, but she was a god, or a goddess, if you will. Quite a powerful one as well, from what I understand.
Harvest, though, what does that mean? Like crops? Like, was she gifting plentiful items, or?
Well, there's a number of domains which fall underneath the goddess of the harvest, whether it be by agricultural means, whether that means by livestock means. Any moment that someone harvests something, they were in fact giving praise and worship to her.
And this god is a whole system?
Not familiar with it being a system per se, but
I'm assuming it would be similar to like what we found not too long ago before we arrived to
Yes.
the city.
This
Oh,
makes more
yeah.
sense.
this system is very much a cluster or an area within the astral seas. I would recommend speaking to Amanda on the topic.
Olmander. There's Olmander.
Is a guy from the star?
The
Sure.
star
Of
map
course.
place, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Is the star map place the Star Haven Palace?
No, it's the observatory, as he points out the window to the observatory.
There's a lot of starry named places here.
Yeah, the astral
Yes.
sea.
Yes.
Quite.
It's very fitting.
All right. Well, this has been lovely. Thank you for all the gold. Is there anything else we need here?
Well, the question: do you need? If we find any more of these, do you really need the whole body, or are there just certain parts you're looking for?
No, I believe the 2 would be fine. We're going to study them.
Right.
Perhaps place it in scrolls and textbooks, distribute it to some of the voyages that happen out on the astral sea. It's always important to be up to date of what creatures and dangers lurk out there.
I think V has some notes about their teeth she can share with you.
They are sharp. Only 2 of them. Who would have thought? I know I did, but I confirmed.
Well done.
Thank you.
As he kind of just gives his head a little bit of a shake towards V. Well, if there's nothing else, I'll start my research right away for you.
Thank you.
Nothing from me.
That's very nice.
Yes.
Well, if there's anything we can help you out with, just let us know. You know where to find us.
Very good.
Guys, we'll try not to party too hard, okay?
I'll try not to. Oh!
Hey, let's get the fuck out of here.
Let's go.
How wide is there is a staircase, right? How wide is the staircase?
It's a relatively large staircase, roughly about 5 feet wide.
Like in the walking order, she'll try and like place herself in front of Tristan while going down the stairs. And then like slow her pace down to separate them from the group.
Okay.
Yeah.
This is where you die, Swiss Dave. V will eventually stop, and she'll sort of like turn around and say, Tristan, and she'll like lean her hand out against the one side of the wall so that you can't really get past her. I'm just wondering, we don't know each other very well, but I have, let's say, survived this long because I can sense when somebody has a problem with me. Do we have a problem?
I don't think we do. You just talk a lot, and half of it doesn't seem that true.
Shit, hold on.
And I'm being nice about half of it.
You're being nice about half of it. Which half of it are you being nice about? You're calling me a liar?
No, I'm just saying you just keep most of it for yourself, or you just don't want to share. If you want to call that a liar, fine.
To share what? What
I
what
think
do I have that you want other than the gold that I just got 5 seconds ago?
I think Grimoire has that, doesn't he?
V took the gold.
Ah, well,
Yeah.
he will have it soon, probably.
What does that mean? Why will Grimoire have the gold? Are you implying that Grimoire will rob me now? What is your problem? Casting all these, I'm a liar, Grimoire is a thief. Who are you, Tristan?
He's just a man that you stopped on the staircase. And what do you want, V, actually? What do you want to know?
I want to know if you're going to be a problem for me.
I don't think I would be a problem for you.
Good, because I don't think it would end well for you. And V will turn around and start walking down the stairs.
Shiz.
Well, that was odd. And I'm the weird one. And Tristan will start to walk slowly down the stairs.
Okay. Making your way downstairs, you find yourself outside of the Library of Spheres once more.
Shall we split payment now?
God, what is... Basil isn't here to receive his share of the payment. Why don't we just wait until we're back at the inn, not out in the middle of the street or somewhere else, counting money for people to rob us later? You see me in your sight, Oksana. You will know where I am at every point, unless I start running. And at that point, if I run, I welcome you to shoot me with an arrow. How about that?
Insight check.
I mean, it's complicated. I actually don't want to be shot by an arrow, but
Yeah, you do see that V, in fact, does not want to be shot by an arrow.
yeah.
She's lying. She doesn't actually want to be shot. That much
She
I know for
seems-
certain.
She seems a little defensive, don't you think?
Yeah.
That's exactly what I said. She's only speaking in half truth.
Oh my god.
Do you think I should push her for it or leave it?
We'll give her a chance, you know. I mean, maybe she's being honest. If we get back to the end, she doesn't give us the money.
She took it very quickly, though.
She did, but you know, she's probably just. I don't know, maybe she likes shopping and stuff a lot.
Really? You're just whispering to each other in front of me. I can see this happening right
Oh,
now.
hey, V, how's it going?
We are talking about weather. Mind your own
Right.
business.
Who is the liar now, Tristan? Who is the liar now?
I never said the other one were not lying.
Sicarius just walks by me, little smirk. Making friends quickly, aren't we?
I don't make friends very well, as you can tell.
You should try giving people
Well,
gifts. People
Yes,
like
perhaps you should share.
Gifts? Do you want gifts? What is with this? Tristan wants me to share things that I do not have. You want to gift Grimoire?
Wait, what does
a gift of
Tristan
what?
want you to share?
I don't
Talk
know.
about?
He said that I'm not sharing things. Do you feel I'm not sharing things with you besides the gold?
I mean, what have you really shared with us?
What is there to share? That is my point.
Information. I don't know. Like
Like what?
what was it like being a sailor?
Oh my god. It honestly is the best part of my life, if I'm going to be honest.
Why aren't you doing it now?
Because I got blown up and sent here to an astral plane, and now I am fighting Voidpyres for vengeance, apparently.
All right, I'm satisfied.
You don't seem very happy about that.
Fighting Voidpyres? No, are you happy about it?
This gives us
we are-
something to
we are
do,
helping
and
people.
we're helping, and by doing so, the town will possibly help us get back to where we belong.
I guess I just don't have a lot of faith that people will help us get back. I
But
just
right
see
now,
this
we're
as-
not doing anything. We might as well see this through. The better we get at this, the happier the people will be that these things are gone. They should help us get home.
They should. People should, but they typically don't return favors. That is my experience. But I'm still going along with this. Doesn't mean I'm enjoying fighting Voidpyres and risking my life.
So you have no faith in other people, but we are to have faith in you. Is that true?
Oh shit, you got it.
Partially,
You got it
suppose.
on the ropes, Oksana.
Yeah.
yeah.
You're like, oh, like, wow.
I'll give
that
I'll
was a
give
smart
I'll give
comment.
Grimoire props.
Oh my god. I can see that. Literally right in front of me.
I don't know what you're talking about.
Obviously, we're all in this together until we can get home.
Yes.
Right now, we don't know if there is anybody here willing to help. So we might as well do this. We do some good things. We help people. They help us. Maybe that's what's missing in this place. That's why nobody is going after this Ajax, because nobody's willing to step up. Everybody's too scared. So maybe by the group of us helping these people, it'll change things around here.
This is insightful comment.
That's a big word for you.
You seem. That
I
is
am
pretty big.
I'm still drunk.
Yeah, maybe you learn it from Basil. I don't know.
Well,
Right?
Well,
I never said I
Onward.
wasn't going to help. Yeah.
You know, I'll just leave this awkward situation behind us for now. And keep moving forward. The mission at hand. Which is what again? We're going to the observatory?
or the palace. I don't know which one.
Yes, I know. I wrote down Starhaven Palace, but I can't remember why we're going there.
To talk to. It's to
What
talk
you
to
told
the,
me earlier.
It's to talk to the
Because-
authorities, the city
Okay.
guard.
Okay, right.
Yes,
To
yes.
see if there's
If-
someone who will help us in this mission, right?
Yes.
If we want to
Obviously,
know more
we've-
about the Yara system, we need to go to the observatory. If we want to learn if somebody wants to give us money for killing Voidpyre, we go to the palace.
I like
So
money. Sounds
Yes,
great.
we know.
So
Well-
it's quite apparent that we basically interrupted recruiting for the new mine that Captain Ajax is trying to develop in this Yara system.
I don't know. I don't think so. Why would you cage and destroy
The slaves.
your
Remember
own
what we
workers?
found at the last place?
Yes, but
Miners.
why would he have them locked up and not doing what he needs them to do?
The
Also,
Voidpyres
Also, they
captured.
ate a couple of
They're
them.
waiting
didn't
for the transportation.
I don't know. It makes no sense to me. I think something more
You
is
capture-
going on.
You wait, then you transfer.
But they
I
were
think-
eating them.
Well, they got hungry. I don't know. I mean, maybe that was their payment. They could take a few for themselves.
It's possible.
But what?
But we know he's capturing more people now. So
So do you think that theoretically, Grimoire, let's play the theoretical game?
they? Hypothetical. That's okay. Go ahead.
Okay, hypothetical game. Christ. If we were captured and Jed didn't save us, do you think that we would have been brought to the place that you said we were going to bring us to, and then eventually brought here under the city to feed the Voidpyres? Or do you think it was just
No,
well,
think
you're so certain, Tristan, please.
I think the people are taken to the Yara system so they can harvest another god to search for the god blood.
I
The
have to agree
Voidpyre
with
are
Tristan.
just like an experiment to try the blood on them. So basically, when they find that blood, they can maybe become more powerful.
Hmm.
The only thing that really does seems strange, I guess, is that we got these Voidpyres who eat essence, which is pretty much blood, and then we got them mining for God's blood. I find that to be a weird coincidence. I don't know what it means, but maybe there's more behind all that.
I don't know. It seems pretty
I
common
don't think
thing
we
to
have
be
enough
obsessed with
information.
blood.
I
the
don't
only
know
way
if
we're
that's
going
a
to find
common
out
thing.
this information is go ahead into it.
It's true.
And as for payment from the palace, maybe we should ask to be able to use the saffron, which is the object that would help us navigate through the star system to other planes.
I think that's
Oh,
a
yes.
really
Back
great idea.
Yes, that was some sort of instrument, right? You were telling us before?
Yes.
Yes.
Oh,
So
I
we
would
should
love-
go to the
We help
palace
them,
first.
they help us navigate and get home.
yes, well, we'll see if they actually allow us to use the saffron. How does it get back to them? Do you think that they're just going to give it and let us go to another plane of existence?
Well, it seems like traveling through other planes is very dangerous. I'm not right now. I as far as I understood, it's just sitting there, not being
Maybe
used.
they'll take us, and then like somebody will go back with it.
Positive thinking. Let's go with that for now.
He's better than us just trying to hold this thing we've never dealt with before. Get the let's just go. Let's
Right.
find out what we'll have to find out, then we can make decisions from there.
I agree.
I'm pretty sure Pork's eating all our ideas anyway.
That's why we can't
That's probably
remember
why you
anything.
sound like an idiot right now. I'm just gonna...
All right, to the palace then.
Yes.
Let's go.
Did you say it
Tristan
was
will-
nighttime, right? For this area?
Yes.
Oh yeah, it's real.
So maybe we should go to the tavern and rest up and then go in the morning time.
Okay.
All right.
I've been resting all day, so that's on you all.
But we
Your
just
decision.
got through fighting some
Right,
void
I'm saying I defer. I defer to you.
I mean, I'm not expecting to fight anything right now at this palace. It sounds not like a fighty place.
Always expect the unexpected.
Well, I don't know, but usually at the palace, people sleep at night. If this is considered
the
night
point.
here, so
They're gonna just let
But
us
it's a
walk
star. It's a star palace. Maybe they're most active when the stars are out. All right, we can go back to the inn.
It was quite the fight you put up there. All right, let's go.
Making your way back to the Happy Beholder, entering through the doorways once again, you see a number of individuals still tying a few on, looking very disheveled. However, one individual seems to be very lively and perky as he chews down on what looks like a large, thick piece of bacon. Hey guys, how y'all doing?
Legit.
Hello.
Jed?
in. Yeah.
who's Jed?
It's Jed.
Where you
Hello,
guys?
Oh my
Jed.
God.
Where y'all been? It's dead or not?
Well, you know, killing Voidpyres and stuff, getting paid.
You actually found
Yes.
some?
The
Two.
real
Yes.
Jed? The real.
I'm impressed. I'll chalk that up with Santa Claus as well.
Well, it's good to see you, Jen. You were making a lot of weird noises from the
Yeah, sorry about
thin
that.
walls
Yeah,
over
I'm-
there.
you know, I was just blowing off some steam. That's all.
Oh,
Lovely.
anyway,
Yes, so
Any,
interesting.
Any further in getting yourselves home, or
Yes, but I think something, you sort of shared your bond with Marcus, with us, and we sort of discovered something with the Voidpyres, that it seems he may be wrapped up in the Voidpyre business, along with Ajax.
now we don't know that that's entirely true.
We don't know that's entirely
it's
true.
a hunch, and it's not important.
I-
It is
I'm
so
not-
good to see you, Jen.
I'm not saying we're going to act on it. I'm just letting you know, Jed.
Because we're
that
not
if we-
going to act on it.
If we can get this information, there are other people who probably will find this information out in other ways.
I mean, why y'all think that Marcus and Ajax is part of the Voidpyres?
Well, I don't know how much I should share. Whatever.
Well, do you know the
Well-
symbol that Captain Ajax uses for himself?
Symbol? I mean, I can't say I'm familiar with any symbol. I mean, we had during my time long ago, there was our typical symbol that we used to wear as part of the infantry.
And what was it?
It was a cross with 3 beams coming out the top of it.
This is not the same thing that I saw.
No.
So maybe it is not Mark.
Well, there are. Probably not them at all then.
Well, it is certainly Ajax's symbol, if not Marcus. It was a hook with a drop of blood.
You see a strange look, a very stoic look, come over
Fuck.
Marcus's or Jed's face. Well, I mean, probably nothing. Anyway, if y'all need to get anywhere, you just let me know.
Jed.
Do you know where the Yara system is?
Yara system. I mean, I don't personally know where the Yara system is, but I mean, there's a guy in town, takes care of all the mappings, all the star mappings. Might be able to help you out. Elmander, I think some of you guys might have met him before.
Yeah, I even think we have a map. Didn't we?
You got the
Basil
map
has
of the
it.
Yeah,
sewer.
you had a map of this city from
Oh, the city. Okay.
from the library.
True.
Right.
So you don't know this symbol at all?
Never heard of it before.
Inside check.
I was gonna say anyone but me because every insight check I've done has been awful.
My modifier is 0. Okay, dice gods.
You got a temptation die.
18.
There it is.
18.
Ooh.
You can tell while Jed doesn't seem to be telling you the whole truth in the matter. His look is not one of malicious intent, but more of concern.
Like he's trying to protect us?
You could say that.
I'm gonna look at him too long and like, I don't believe him. I just nod. Okay, Jed.
All right, Oksana.
Jed, I have a question.
Huh?
We heard that you can use something called the saffron to help you go to another plane of existence. Have you heard of this?
I mean, can you be a little bit more specific?
I
What
think
is
it's
it?
sort of like an instrument compass, sort of in a way.
Oh, I mean,
Guides away.
there's been talk of things like this that will help navigate the starscape. I never seen one personally, but I assume they do exist.
All right. So you haven't heard of the saffron specifically, then?
You think I know every single object in the damn world, V? I think I just
Damn.
have all this information that just comes out of my mind at any point in time?
Just
But we were
thought
hoping.
Yes, I just thought I'd ask. That's all.
Hey, Luigi! You ever heard of something called the saffron? You hear as Luigi yells back. Oh, okay, so yeah, it does exist.
We knew it. Okay. Thank you, Jed, for looking into that for us.
Hey, I'm looking out for you, all right?
You are. You saved us, and for that we owe you.
Well, no offense or anything, but you look like shit, you smell like shit, and I mean, y'all can get cleaned up a little bit.
Fair.
Oh,
So we need some
very
rooms.
important quality.
You need some what?
Rooms.
Oh yeah, just go ask Luigi. He'll hook you up with some rooms. Hey Luigi, couple of rooms. Put them on my tab.
This is very kind.
I like that.
It's nice of you, Jed.
Gotta help your friends when you can, am I right?
You know your DM knows you're broke when.
Not that broke anymore, though.
You.
Well,
we still
we
are.
are.
God.
Listen, there's not much I wouldn't do for my friends, new or old.
You are a good guy, Jed.
Fair.
I like to think so.
Perhaps we should talk to Luigi about the saffron in the morning. What do you think?
Sure, I just want to know what the chances of leaving with it. That's all. But
Depends on how
I
big
think
it is.
the palace is the best place to ask for that, I think.
So we should hit the palace in the morning.
Yes.
Yeah, I think that's a good idea.
should we, V like begrudgingly says, split the money here?
This is great suggestion. Yes.
What
This
did
is
I
good
tell
time,
ya?
I think.
Not just like Sonic.
I can see that as well, Grimo. I am sitting right here.
Yeah, I'm really proud of you. I thought you were gonna leave with it or something.
Yep. Okay. You're proud of me. All right. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So V will dump it out on the table and then like split it 5 ways, but keep like Basil's share. She'll say, I'm going to keep this extra share for Basil, if that's all right with you, Oksana.
Yes, this is no problem with me.
Pretty close.
All right.
I have to be completely honest. I had nothing to do with any of this, and I feel a little shitty taking any of it.
I'll have your share.
I know, not you.
He says he feels shitty. He didn't say he
No,
wouldn't accept.
here's the thing. I think Oksana, you were the one who carried the bodies all the way through, so you did a little extra work. You can have my share.
Grimor, what's yours is mine, what's mine is yours. You are my friend. Please, take it.
And as she drops the coins down on the table in front of you, the echoes throughout the otherwise quiet tavern almost remind you like that of the thundering hooves of an incoming cavalry. Welcome in, Raiders.
Hi, Raiders.
Hello.
If
Great timing. We're going to bed.
there's nothing else, I will order at least some type of dinner plate and 3 shots to go to my room, please.
3 shots to your room. To your
Yes.
room, not here.
I'm tired. I'm gonna go eat, clean up, and go to sleep.
Do shots alone. It's dangerous business. We should do shots together. How about
I
we
will
all
do
do
a
round of
shot.
shots? Yes, let's
Yes.
all do a shot together.
Okay.
Fine.
Fantastic. My party's alcoholics.
I mean, I'll have some. I'll
Well,
have
we
a
did
shot of
just
fruit
survive.
juice with you guys.
Yeah. I will take a shot with you all.
All right. As you approach the bar rail of Large Luigi, he pours out 4 shots in front of you. A very strange looking shot inside of the glass indeed. They seem to be a pinkish and purplish hue that seems to be layered on top of one another. A pearlescent swirl in the center of each of them. Dear friends, my homemade concoction to you all. The nebula shot. As he raises his glass and cheers to all of you. Let us all eat, drink, and be merry.
Cheers.
Cheers.
To future adventures.
We will sort of lean over right before she takes the shot to Tristan, her new bestie,
Oh.
and say,
Why do you torture yourself?
you know, if before you take a shot, if you remember that any shot could be poisoned, it's kind of like every shot is a dance with death, is it not? Doesn't that make it a little more exciting?
I guess. I mean, that's the destination, isn't it? For all of us.
God, Jesus Christ.
Cheers.
Cheers.
You brought up death. What the fuck did you expect it to say?
Listen, B brought it up, but Raina still, I don't even know what the word is.
Raina's going to have a whole host of dark hearts by the end of the night.
Oh no.
All right, bedtime?
Bedtime.
Okay.
Good morning.
All right. You all head up to your designated rooms. Looking at your keys, you all find a number glistening, carved out of the top of the key itself. You find your independent rooms, and if is there anything anyone else would like to do before you bed down for the evening?
When the keys were handed over, Greymoor would try to clock V's key and see what number it was.
Okay. Go ahead and make a perception check for me.
6.
Oh.
Unfortunately, as V grabbed the key, it was twisted on its edge, making it next to impossible to see what rune number it was.
Just wait to see what room she goes in.
I'll then wait to see what room she goes in.
Oh. Ellen, drunk and creepy. Fantastic. Gotta love level 2 adventurers. Okay.
Ultimately, he will wait until he's fairly certain that she's gone to bed, and he will try to sneak into her room and steal her music box again.
Okay. Well, making it up to your designated rooms, Greymoor, you watch as V heads into room number 10, watching a little bit from afar. You wait for half an hour or so, maybe a little bit longer, before making your way to the actual door itself. Standing in front of it, a beautiful wooden door with a brass handle on it. You see a small keyhole that rests directly underneath the brass knob.
Very quietly see if it's just unlocked. Just very slowly turn the knob to see if there's resistance.
Sure.
Yeah, she seems like the type to leave her door unlocked, right?
So trusting.
As you twist the door handle, you do find it's locked. However, having that music box in mind, listening to the music within your memory, you feel a touch inspired.
What? Really, chat? What the fuck?
Yeah, poor me.
Fired.
He will attempt to pick the lock as quietly as possible.
Okay, go ahead and make a stealth check for me.
I use advantage immediately, right?
Yeah.
That is 23.
23. V, go ahead.
That was an eye roll.
I have a +7 to stealth, man.
V, go ahead and make a perception check with disadvantage, as you have been gifted a dark heart.
Good work, chat. We made this happen.
Wow, chat, so rude. Wow, I just want to know that my natural rolls were a 17 and a 2.
Okay.
So my
Okay.
perception. So that's 4.
4. Okay. Greymoor, as the door opens without a sound in any way, you first peek inside to find V wrapped up in blankets, all of her clothes laid out on the edge of a chair,
One hand under her pillow.
one hand under her pillow.
Yeah, left leg up like this, like just.
Okay, she is very covered at the same time. Come on, guys, this is a Christian Minecraft channel,
You
all
can't
right?
see that
You can't
stuff.
go into explicit sleeping details.
It's strategically covered,
Yeah, thank you, Rob.
I will look
I'm
around
giving you
for
a
the
damn
music
pocket
box.
to wear with next. What?
See if it's somewhere not on her body.
It would-
Well, seeing
it
that
would
her
be on
clothes are now all on the chair, you quickly begin to go through them, finding the small satchel that you remember containing the small music box.
We'll take it.
Taking the music box once again, You exit the room. Where are you headed to?
Back to room number 6, I assume, which is the one I would be in.
Yep.
I'm going to go into a corner, listen to the music box, and make sure that I bring it back before she wakes up.
As you look at the music box this time, listening to it, you flip it open, looking at the interior of it. Strangely enough, you do see a small inscription on it. One that you hadn't seen before. The inscription reads, "Never alone."
That's really... He will focus on the inscription while listening to it, and while listening to the tune. And this time around, he will only listen to one song and then go and put it back.
Yeah. Listening to the music, thinking about the inscription, you're reminded of a dark time in your life where, while you were never technically alone, you never felt more alone. You begin to start to see things a little bit differently from your companion V. Wrapping up the song, you close up the music box with care. Leaving your room, you once again enter into V's without a sound, finding the satchel once more, softly and carefully placing it inside.
He will also sort of walk over to V's bedside and just give her a pat, but not loud, not enough to try to wake her up. Just kind of a pat on the head and go back.
Okay. Headed back to the room, you also bed down for the evening. And unless there's anything else anyone would like to do?
So Zacharias is going to toast the second shot that he took up with him. And then as he gets into bed, he's just going to lay down, open up his locket, and just stare at it. And then with a tear coming down his cheek, go to sleep.
Okay.
The fuck is the vibe in this party? Oh my god.
But before
Oksana is farting.
Naturally. Yeah.
Naturally.
Thanks, Ozana.
Way to break the tension there, Oksana, as well as the wind.
Yes.
Tristan?
So before going to bed, Tristan will go and wash up. And as he takes off all his bandages, he looks at his chest, and the whole left part of his chest is gone. And instead he has ghostly ribs of the same blue of his hands when he put out the coin, and he just looks at it and try to feel it. And once he's washed, he just puts on back the bandages and will go sit on the bed, looking out the window and just spend the night like this.
As you stare out into the darkness, seeing small flashes of light through the windows, you spend some time thinking about your family, your son, and the last time that you were a man that was whole. y'all can go ahead and mark down on your character sheets that you have been gifted the benefits of a long rest.
Oh, I thought he was gonna
right.
level us up.
Me
Yeah.
too. I was like,
I'll
no.
level you up right in the middle of the episode. What do I look like? A nice DM?
Oh, man.
Jesus Christ. Y'all ask too much.
Not
of
sure
me.
everybody could pull that off in the middle of a game.
Yeah, for the rest of the campaign, guys, we're just going to be sitting here doing character stuff. All right. With that said, you all awake in the morning. Strange waking up in the darkness as much as it was the night before. However, the sounds and smells of what would be considered the early morning inside the city of Rawl gives you a little bit of liveliness in your step and a bit of a rumble in your bellies.
Time for
I am
breakfast.
hungry.
Oksana just immediately sits up in bed and proclaims that her hunger is far too immense, while no one listens onward.
Get up, get dressed, get ready, and go downstairs to get some breakfast.
Okay.
You hear someone from the kitchen say, "Breakfast is served."
Oh,
Oh, that was so unsatisfying.
Sorry, that didn't happen. I don't want to take Dave's job. Don't kill me.
Yeah, fair. Yeah, because it was my job to ring the damn bell. As you make your way back down to the tables to which you were sitting at earlier, you can see that Jed doesn't seem to be present at this point. While one of the barmaid makes its way over to you, taking your orders. She offers you a strange egg concoction. It seems that scaver is both the delicatessen of the night as well as in the morning.
whatever it is, I want a lot of it, please. And some meat, if you have.
Right away, Mom, will do.
Thank you. Oh, yes, and for my friend. He eats no meat. Some vegetables, please.
No meat, extra vegetables? Extra vegetables, no meat.
She'll think
Gotta
about it.
complete each other a little bit, yeah.
Oh my god.
I'll just take whatever your house special is.
Very good.
Me as well.
Very good.
Same here.
Oh, eating today, Tristan, are we? That's exciting news.
No, when I get my plate, I will pass it on to Oksana.
I was gonna say Oksana will eat it.
Words and points.
As you sit waiting for your food to arrive, the front door to the Happy Beholder opens once again with your friend Jed in tow. As he walks over to the table. Morning, y'all. Do I ever have some good news for you?
Really?
Good
Well,
news is always welcome.
Sure
What
as
do you
shit
have
it
for
was. I went ahead and I took the initiative like a good captain would for his clientele. He tosses a rolled up parchment onto the table and spreads it out, putting 2 glasses or flagons directly on either side. You see a strange mapping of sorts to the stars. Right here, and he points at the table. That's the Yar system.
Very good.
Oh.
And
How did you find
and
this
wh-
out?
And where are we now?
I mean, we're not that
On
far
the map.
away.
Okay.
I mean, I forgot to ask where we were on the map, but I mean, we'll figure it out. It's fine.
All right.
And I can always go back to Elmander and ask him.
That is true. You could come with us.
That was very nice of you,
What do
Jed.
you mean I can
Yep.
come with you? I'm going to be the one
He's our
bringing
captain.
you there.
Oh.
I think,
Cabin
did she
is-
mean to the palace? Did you mean to the palace or to
Yes.
Yara?
Oh, the whole thing. We have a day trip planned.
You guys are
Jed.
going to the palace? Good luck getting in there.
Why do you say that?
And they don't just let any Bob, John, and Jilly come in there?
Have you
But
seen
we,
me, Jed?
but we captured Voidpyres.
Yeah, wouldn't that give us some credibility to get in?
I don't know. I've never been there before. Prince Andrew and his
I-
people are... I mean, they're not the most hospitable.
Prince
I
Andrew.
guess we should have kept some of those Voidpyres. We have no proof.
I mean, you could have kept the teeth. V been going on about them for like an hour yesterday. Oh,
Is
they're
that
so
why you
sharp
were
and
in the
pointy.
mouth?
V, you like to be in the mouth of a Voidpyre there, V?
Yes. Yes, I do.
Gross.
Well, maybe we can go back to the library and ask for some kind of token or proof. Perhaps
It's
that's
not
not a
like we
bad
get
idea.
paid for it.
By the way, where's Basil?
I don't
He-
know.
He's stuck.
At the
They're all
library.
at the library.
Just forgot about him.
He's living his best life, studying books, which he loves to do.
Hey, I mean, if he's having a good time, then I'm not here to yuck his yum, you know what I mean?
No.
I didn't think so. The food now begins to arrive for all of you.
Very
Listen.
good.
She lays it out. All right, now listen, guys. We got to think about a plan of attack here, of what we're going to do. Do we know what we're doing at the Yara system, by the way?
I'm just
All
eating.
we know is that's where the whatever, Astro, I don't know. Fuck, I'm drunk. Anyway.
You just woke up, Sicarius. You're already drunk? I mean, I respect it, but dear God, man.
That's where they were taking the hostages that
Yes.
we rescued.
Yes. We are going to investigate where they're taking hostages. Yes.
All right.
This is what.
All right.
Yep.
Maybe next time you rethink about which way we're going in. I'm just saying.
I mean, you weren't exactly
Oh.
clear when you.
What do you mean? I said specifically. You want to go in through the back or you want to go in through the front?
Right. I don't want to know what the front would be, Jed.
What do you mean?
We just specified
V,
they were
you
going to
got
go
to
through
get
the
your
mouth this
mind
time.
out of the
I-
gutter. That is just
Di-
disgusting. I'm
So
ashamed
which-
to know you right now, V.
Oh my god, I literally just thought it was the mouth. I just understand.
Of course it's the mouth. As
Oh
Jed
my
begins
God.
to yell about the mouth, you hear the doors swing open loudly as it crashes on the walls beside it. You hear the steps of marching now entering into the tavern directly. A number of soldiers now flooding in, wearing very astute, well-polished robes and armor, and leading the way as they kind of circle around the perimeter. You see a woman walk through the door, a beautiful, elven-looking individual with a bald head, but the pointed ears give the race of the individual away. Her hands behind her back, she shows a very large air of power. She looks around the room.
3 more ducks, but you can still just see all of his ears just poking out from the table.
I look for the individuals who destroyed the creatures known as the Voidpyres last night.
That's their name. Yes.
She immediately looks over to Sicarius and begins marching up to your table.
Here we go.
Turning around, Jed takes notice of her. Ah, Maha. Pleasure to see you as always. Jed. Or what do they call you now? Captain Jed? Deserter Jed? She turns away from him with an air of disgust.
Awkward.
I am Captain Mahazara. Guard to Prince Andrew.
Oh, that is
Very
the one we
nice.
are looking for.
Prince Andrew requires you at the palace immediately.
Oh, this is perfect. Guys,
Jed?
let's go.
You thought we couldn't get in.
I haven't finished my pretzel banana.
Yes, can we eat, please, first?
We
I
leave
ve-
now.
Okay,
I have
well-
one question. What does he want with us? Is he mad or happy?
Your business with Prince Andrew will be told to you upon your arrival. We are not at liberty to discuss the wants and needs of our dear prince. As she steps back from the table, on your feet.
Is there
He
food
stands
in the
up.
palace?
Very direct.
Oh
All right,
my
I stand
God.
up, look over to Jed. I guess our trip will have to wait.
Well,
All right, Oksana, we'll just have to take it to go. He
I was
starts
gonna say.
he starts
I
trying to
was-
like pull it together, like
Yeah.
as you kind of hesitate for even a moment, a number of the guards now circling around the table.
Oh my God, relax.
We are cooperating. There's no need of force here.
Yeah, right here.
Very well then.
Are you, just a question, are you captain of a group of knights or people or whatever you call them here? Or are you captain of a ship?
I'm
Curious.
captain of the Royal Guard.
Ah, so people then. Nice.
She kind of shakes her head at all of you turning and now walking out of the building. The guards now kind of, not in any kind of show of major force, but pushing you along.
Greenwood's
I
just
guess
kind of
we're
like
on our way now.
fumbling like a bagel. Just like trying to like pick it up while he's rushing forward, just like scampering ahead.
As you begin to make your way out, Jed kind of moves to the back, close to Sicarius.
Time to follow the guards.
Yep.
Wait, was the stone ringing?
No.
Oh,
Hello?
Oh, I'm gonna murder you all at the next round.
I know.
Jed kind of leans into you and whispers a little bit. Let's just be a little careful around this one. She's not to be trifled with.
well, we don't plan on doing anything. We just want to hear what the prince has to say. Maybe he can help us get home.
I'm just saying. No messing about on this one.
Someone tell V right away.
I know. I know.
And as you make your way outside of the tavern, that is where we're going to take a short rest for the evening. With that said, folks, as always, we take a few questions on break. If you want to know maybe a little bit about us, maybe a little about the universe, maybe about life or anything inside of it, we will do our absolute best to answer. And then give us 5 minutes. We'll be doing a little bit of a short bio break, as they say. Yeah, if you've been enjoying and aren't already following, maybe hit that follow button because it always helps out around here. But with that said, guys, go get your apple juice, your orange juice, your coffee juice, your scaver juice, your Voidpyre juice, ? And we will be back in just a few short moments, so stay tuned.
Bye.
And we are back, ladies and gentlemen. And thank you so much, first and foremost, for the hype train. You guys are fantastic. Buck Goose, GF Powers, Cross the Streams. Thank you so much for the bits and the gifted subs, the new friends. Very, very much appreciated.
Very appreciated. This is probably going to wake up the puppy.
Oh, no. Poor pork. Poor pork. Okay, so we did have a couple questions on chat, so we'll blast through those a little quickly. Question for Tristan. Is there a limit to how many silver pieces you can conjure? Follow-up question. Why not conjure silver nonstop to pay for your needs?
As far as I know, there is no limit, and it doesn't work that way.
Otherwise, we'd be rich.
Always mysterious with this one. Greenmore, one of those times you're going to get caught red-handed going for the music box. Do you have a good excuse other than I broke into your room because I think you dropped this?
First of all, I think it's very bold of you to assume I'll ever be caught.
Fair.
Secondly, no, it will be a completely improv situation because I think that would make it more interesting.
Fair.
Because he's
Fair
not
point.
expecting to get caught.
Yep. 100% agree. What is the cast's favorite juice?
Juice.
Greenmore, start us off.
Mother's milk.
V. The hell?
Apple juice.
Tristan.
Put me on the spot. I'm always first.
Okay, so for Tristan, he has that vial of liquid silverish blood, which he's very intrigued about.
Okay,
Oh my
that's
God.
just.
He got from
that's all right.
Isn't okay.
Oksana.
Are we talking like real life juice?
Yeah,
I thought we were talking about real life juice.
Well, I don't know. He said Tristan, so I assume it was
Sangria.
Sangria. Fantastic. Sicarius.
Orange juice.
And mine is Scotch juice. Question for Dave. What does Jed look like? So Jed is a Githyanki. You can go ahead and look that up online. The only difference from him is he's a bit of a wild one. He's got a party in the back, or what is it? Party in the front, business in the back, or whatever. He's got a mullet.
Opposite.
Yeah.
Sure.
Business
Yeah,
in
that
the front,
one.
party in the back.
Yeah, that one. Question to Greenmore. Do you still use your Barry White voice when singing along with the music box?
I don't know. If anything, he sounds more like Whitey from 8 Crazy Nights when he's singing. If you don't know what I'm talking about, look it up after the show. But that's what he sounds like singing.
Question for Dave Dag. Will Basil's reputation ever recover from this voice? And will Dag ever forgive you? Probably not. Probably not. But hey, that's to assume that he makes it past this episode. Wink. No, I'm just kidding. All right. With that said, I think that was all of the questions that we had on our break this afternoon or evening. So let's go ahead and jump back into tonight's episode. As you make your way outside, one last question. Question for Greenmore. Where did I leave the TV remote? It was here a second. God damn it, Nate.
In the crevice of the couch cushions. Check there.
Yeah,
Right.
check the couch cushions. If not, check your left hand. That's where I always leave my remote. Now, moving back into the episode. As you make your way outside of the tavern doors, you see a number of large carts. The guards seem to escort you onto each one of these carts. And as the rest of them pile in, you feel yourself being pulled away once more. There are 2 guards that sit within the back of the cart which you guys reside in right now, neither of them making any kind of movement or any kind of conversation. You hear the trodden of what sound like hooves in front of you as you're carried away. Finally, after about a half an hour's travel, you feel the carts now slowing once more. As you're escorted outside of the carts, you find yourself in the grand courtyard of Starhaven. Beautiful, well-groomed bush statues. I don't know what they're called. Topiaries, sure. All around you, of strange creatures to which you've never seen the likes of. Directly in front of you see a beautiful tower, mostly made of crystal and gold. A number of the soldiers now lining the walkway leading up. As you're escorted forward, you're led through a large set of doors, beautifully, innately carved. Escorted inside the palace, its majesty is just as large and grand as the outside. Very long, large, purple carpet leads way throughout most of the hallways. You're escorted to what looks like a waiting room. As you enter into the waiting room, you see the disgruntled and confused face of your companion, Basil.
Hello, Basil.
It appears you told her about our exploits.
Don't look at me, guys. Wasn't me this time. I know I'm good at telling a tale, but not this time.
Jesus Christ.
Basil, thank God you're here.
As Captain Mahazara makes her way into the room, I'm glad we all here now. Prince Andrew will see you. As she opens up another set of double doors leading inward, you find a beautiful conference-looking room. You can see a number of individuals, the members of the court, all standing around whispering to one another, large drapes hanging from the roofs all the way down to the floor. You can see off in the distance a minstrel playing. And directly in the center of the room, a number of individuals. One graced in the most beautiful of silks, purples and light blues, as well as a crystal crown that adorns his head. They pay no mind to you as you enter, as they seem to be in the midst of some type of game. You see as the crowned one twirls his hands around as a ball of light seemingly appears out of nowhere. Directly in the center of the room, you see what looks like a number of stars, or what you would know out of game as a solar system. A few of the court members are cheering on. And as he thrusts his hand forward, the ball of light seems to roll towards the star system. And as it connects with some of the planets, it scatters outwards. You also see now a number of rings that seem to hover, 6 to be exact, as a few of the planets and stars seem to fall directly down into the holes. A few of the court members applaud and clap as 2 of the large planetary spheres fall through these holes, or loops. Well, my friend, it seems I have bested you once more. Of course, your majesty, you are always the best of pool ball. As the crowned individual turns towards you now. Ah, my dear captain, it seems you have found our esteemed guest that seemed to be making so much ruckus throughout our wonderful kingdom. From what I've heard, you are the individuals that seem to have captured and killed what could only be assumed as a mythical creature. Is this true?
It is, Your Grace, or whatever your title is here.
Please, Prince is fine. Prince Andrew, to be exact.
I was actually.
Oh, your mic is really
Didn't hear you.
low or something.
Yeah, bring your mic
Bobby.
a little bit closer.
Is
to you.
it?
There you go.
Whoa, it's
There you
back. Weird.
Now tell me, adventurers or warriors, what do you prefer?
Prefer what?
For
Like,
for what?
Well, what do you call yourselves? Are you mercenaries? Are you warriors? Are you adventurers? What exactly are you? A traveling band? Although I don't know many traveling bands that could take on such a vicious creature.
well,
Oh, no.
I have just mastered another instrument behind my belt. I can now play the triangle.
Perhaps you are a
Thank you.
minstrel of kind. So is it true that you are a band then?
Oh no,
No.
they don't have the same talent that I do.
Very good. Very good. And who exactly are each of you?
I am Sicarius, and we do not have a group name as far as we basically have just come together by sheer coincidence and are looking for a way home. So that's why we travel together.
Very interesting and very odd, to say the least. You seem a well-known fighter, I see. Gracing us with armor in your presence, a large sword by your side.
One can't be too careful.
Tell
you should
me,
have seen his old one.
Thank you.
tell me, Sicarius, how many people have you killed?
People? 0. I've only vanquished creatures.
Ah, a virgin blade. How interesting. And as for you, the ever so bolsterous, unsure of when to speak around a prince. What is your name, girl?
She does not know that he is talking about her. Is he looking right at her?
Yes.
Okay. She'll look behind her to make sure. Hello, I am Oksana. It's pleasure to meet you.
And a very strange accent you have there.
Is it? I don't know.
I see. And I assume, based on your attire and your stature, you are the muscle of the group.
It would seem so. But they pull their weight in other ways.
Do they now?
Yes, of course.
He continues to walk down the line. Well, aren't you a strange one? What exactly are you?
He looks at Oksana.
It's okay, little man. Speak freely.
I am a Grimoire.
Grimoire. Strange, I've never heard of a Grimoire before.
Some people call me your princeness.
Some people call you their princeness.
No, I was saying that's what some people call me, your princeness. And he does like a really like stupid like bow, like he's like trying to do what's right, but he's totally off.
Seems you're missing a few parts there, Grimoire.
I am the way I am.
I guess there's a runt in every litter.
What did you say?
Oh shit.
He turns back to Oksana. I said runt of the litter, as in the smallest, most pathetic born of a group.
He is not pathetic. He is brave soul. You should get to know him. You would like him.
Very well. Perhaps we shall. And Miss Gaspy over here, the triangle player. What do they call you?
Oh, my name is V. It's so very nice to meet you.
V as in the letter?
Yeah.
How quaint.
Thank you.
And there's no additional beyond? A Vivian, a Veronica, perhaps?
No, does there have to be?
Not necessarily, but I find it quite odd that your parents wouldn't bless you with a full name, and instead, nothing but a mere letter.
Dee will sort of like, I don't know, break her character a little bit, but then she'll snap back into it and just be like, or maybe they were very creative.
I think not with a single letter, but you seem to play the triangle so eloquently, whatever that means. And you, dear sir, Are you quite all right? The amount of bandages that are wrapped around you right now would give way to what? Damage? Leprosy? What is it that ails you, sir?
That would be damage, Prince Andrew. I am Tristan Pelham Corbin. Pleasure to meet you.
One with respect. I appreciate that. Clearly someone who knows how to deal with royalty. Were you part of a court yourself at one time?
A long time ago, in a far, far away place.
Interesting. You all seem to be referencing that of a place far away. What is this place that you speak of?
Specifically, it's called Dog's Breath.
Dog's Breath.
That is where I am from.
Sounds like an exquisite place. I've never heard of it. Whereabouts in it in the Astral Sea?
It is not in the Astral Sea, and thus lies in our problem.
I see. So tell me, warriors, adventurers, vagabonds, what is it that brought you here to the Rock of Brawl?
We're looking for a way back home.
Well, there's plenty of ships. I'm sure you could just take it to this Dog's Breath place that you speak of.
It's on another plane of existence.
Ah, so planewalkers.
Well, unfortunately, we are not plane walkers. See, we were minding our own business until some random person named, I forget his name. Oh no.
Dennis.
No, not Dennis, the one that blew us up.
Oh, the one
I don't
with
think
the
we caught
bags.
his name.
Okay. Some crazy person came in and he was rambling on and he put a bag of holding, if you know what that is, into another bag of holding. And then, poof, we were here. And then we met Jed. Thank goodness. He saved our butts many times now.
And he is the reason why we are here. He picked us up and brought us here.
Prince Andrew stares down the line. Ah, yes, dear Captain Jed. Andrew, pleasure to see you as always. Yes, it's Prince Andrew now. So, what you're meaning to say is that you've somehow managed your way accidentally into the Astral Sea. You don't have any place here, and yet you come here and do us such wonderful things, such as destroying these creatures.
Oh, this one's totally for Sicarius to answer. Go ahead with your vengeance speech.
Well, we just happened to come upon the town. A murder happened right in the middle of the market, and we just one thing kind of led to another. We found some trapped people, we freed them, and now it's just the right thing to do to find out how far this rabbit hole will go. In return, we're hoping we do the town a favor, they help us get home.
Seems you've already done us quite a favor, have you not?
Well, those were only two. We have reason to believe there is more.
Nonsense. There's most likely no more of those creatures as there are flying bandits.
Forgive my rudeness, but the fact that two did exist when no one thought two even existed.
And there are flying bandits. They tried to kidnap us and Jed saved us. So I don't know where you're getting your information from, but it is not sound.
All very well said. Where are my manners? Drinks for our guests here, please. A moment later, a servant walks over with a tray of drinks. First offering it to Prince Andrew as he picks it up, handing them out to the rest of you. Well then, dear friends, cheers towards your bravery and good deeds to our fair city.
Greenmore doesn't take his.
Reaches out a
We will-
glass.
We will hold hers up,
I'll
but make eye contact with Tristan, sort of reminiscing what she said last night about the poison, and take her
Jesus.
shot.
I wait until the prince takes a sip first.
I just drink.
Well, it seems that if you are correct, that there's more of these so-called Voidpyres, as they say. It's mostly something that we can handle here, so perhaps we offer you your reward now. What if I were to offer voyage back home for you? Here and now.
That would
Inside
be
check.
very generous.
I'll tell you
what's-
what. If you have no reason to be here, if you're simply holding on for this so-called nest of Voidpyres, if you will, why not just go home now?
But if we are doing service for your town, is that not reason to keep us?
Not one to argue with the likes of someone like yourself, but I believe that you've done a good job that deserves to be rewarded. And as I said, if you have no business being here, then perhaps you shouldn't be.
Inside check.
Go ahead and give an
I'm getting
insight
the
check.
feeling we're being kicked out.
Yeah, that was
Yeah.
pretty. I mean,
100%.
I don't
do we
need an inside check for that.
Yeah.
12.
12? You absolutely get a feeling of being unwelcomed.
Are we causing problem for you?
Problem for me? No. Individuals like yourselves would be very hard-pressed to create problems for someone like myself. But I don't see why we can't have you back home by the end of the day. Excuse me, it seems to be my shot. Discuss amongst yourselves for a moment. As he turns and goes back to the game.
Step away.
Yeah. All right. So, anyone get the vibes that he's working with everyone that we are trying to take down?
Yes, I want to hit him in the face. So
I mean, it is quite obvious that he's putting exactly what we want in front of us to get rid of us. You would think if nobody else is stepping up and taking care of these people, that he would be, I don't know, what would you say, just very appreciative of somebody taking the initiative to clean things up. But he wants us to stop. And I
he's
don't
probably getting a cut. This is why Jed said there is lawlessness in the city.
Yes. Maybe they buy into his campaign. Or
Yes.
maybe he himself is involved in wanting this god's blood.
We
Right?
should take him out. He looks very small.
But
He
if you
looks
think,
small.
but Oksana, look around you.
Oh, yes. This is good point.
Look small actually is quite a large foe due to his
Well,
resources.
let's get him alone.
Well, think
No?
about it. There's
Okay, tell me when.
lawlessness everywhere. However, he has enough resources to probably influence and take care of things. But yet, things still go unchecked. Why?
Well, the question is, let's say somehow we get out of here. We say, oh, absolutely, fly us out. And then we ditch the ship or whatever is going to take us out of here. And then let's say we save the city from all these Voidpyres and thus ruin all of the plans to get the god's blood and whatever the heck they're planning. Do you think after that we will be able to get out of the city? will we still have the resources or the saffron, or will other people pull strings and keep that from us because they are pissed off that we foiled all their plans?
Well, is that saffron here in the palace, or
I think so. Somebody said it was.
Yeah, from the information we have, he has it.
he has it? So he is the key.
Yeah.
Well, he is not going to let us go anyway. We have no other choice. If he wants us gone, he's working with Ajax. They will take us to their whatever trade they have going on. We have no choice.
And there's a good chance we may not be allowed to leave the palace after all, anyway.
Yes.
Is there some way that we could stall? Like, maybe say yes, but just not now. We need a few to gather ourselves to allow us to leave.
We can tell
Jed?
him Basil has lost his mind.
Yeah. Is
He's in no
Jed,
fit condition to travel.
like, what's Jed doing? Is he looking like doesn't care, or is he like, oh shit, this is bad news bears?
Jed is standing close to you, although while still listening, his demeanor has significantly changed from that of kind of a carefree individual to a very stark and focused individual. His razor-sharp looks as he stares around the room. You can tell just by the look he's sizing up all of the guards as well as the captain within the room.
So, Jed, it does appear that there is no good tensions between you and the prince.
Like I said earlier, Sicarius, this isn't time to trifle.
If we don't take his deal, do we leave here alive?
I can't make any promises on that.
But you've known him before he was a prince. Who was he before?
The son of another man who used to rule here.
Was he a good ruler?
His father?
Yes.
He was the man that gave me my freedom. There's a lot of things you don't know, V.
Yeah.
There's a lot of things that most of you don't know. Where I don't know if this is the right time or place. I feel I owe you some answers. If we do get out of here, well, we should have a chat.
One
Yes.
quick thing. Since you have a history with this man, does both Marcus and Ajax also have a history with this man?
Like I said, there's a lot to be said. Let's focus on the problem at hand. How
Are we
gonna-
fighting our way out?
I don't think we can fight this one. Maybe we can rely on the cunning words of Veed to talk ourselves out of this.
Jesus Christ. Of course.
Since you're good at bending the truths.
Oh, here we go again.
Hey, in this case, it's a positive. Go with it.
Why don't we lie and tell him we overheard the plot of some kind of a coup? Turn him
Okay.
against the people he thinks he's working with.
But then we would let him know that we know that he's working with them.
And then we definitely would have to fight
Not
our way out.
not at all. He doesn't know what we know. We can be speaking with no knowledge of these things. Just say something we overheard. He will know what it means. We may not.
While everyone's chatting, Grimoire will hobble over to the prince.
Oh no.
Are you stealing something?
No.
Oh.
Oh, when have I been known to be the thief in the group?
You begin to make your way over to the prince, his back turned towards you as he continues to play the game. As you get within a few feet, the captain stands in front of you, hand on her sword. The prince, taking note of this, turns. Ah, the Grimoire creature. You have something to say?
I was wondering, I've never met a prince before. What is a prince?
Prince is a ruler of all, graced by the gods themselves.
Graced by the gods?
Of course. There's no other way that one becomes a prince other through blood.
What?
You see, Grimoire, my great-great-grandfather, who created the Rock of Brawl, was one of the last members who apparently spoke with a god, and when they were spoken to, were told of this landmass that hovers out in the night skies. He was told directly to raise a city of great proportion, one that would rule over all of the astral sea one day.
And a god told him to do this?
Yes, of course. That's the only way a king can be granted that.
So, if you were to put it in some form of list, gods would be above kings, and kings above princes. Is that right?
I guess if you're looking for some type of hierarchy, then you would be accurate.
Great. I was wondering just because of, Captain Ajax and what he's plotting. I no doubt you know all about that because, that would put you in quite a predicament. I mean, you would be 2 levels lower than him if you were to succeed, I feel like. Right? Sort of like wipes his nose and looks up at him.
Make a persuasion check for me.
Oh god.
Dreamer going rogue.
I'm gonna use a temptation die.
Okay, you've got 2 of them.
It's not a bad roll, but okay. So that's a total of 17.
17. Mixed up within the conversation, the prince looks towards you. Well, of course, Ajax wouldn't. Surely, if this individual who you say, Captain Ajax, was to meet his way to godhood, I'm sure that would not change my position in any way. Hypothetically speaking, that is.
Really? Just from what we've experienced, I guess, he seems like the type that would very much, spread his influence, as it were. And,
Before you continue your next statement, perhaps it's a good idea to tread lightly.
I didn't mean anything by it, I'm sorry. I was just playing the hypothetical game.
If you wouldn't mind, I'd like to complete my shot. I'll be back to you and your group shortly.
Of course. I'll hobble back over to the group. Jesus Christ. It's just sort of was like he was holding his breath throughout the whole thing. He kind of just exhales.
Grimoire, where were you?
I was talking to the prince.
And why were you doing that?
Well, I thought I would try to see. Here's the thing, and he'll explain sort of like the back and forth that they just had, but I also he definitely knows who Captain Ajax is. He tried to cover it up, but he's not very good with his words. He doesn't have much of a poker face either.
See? It's like I said. Convince him that Ajax is working against him.
Well, that's what I tried to do, and I think I may have planted the seed of doubt, as it were. But we're still in need of making a decision here.
Y'all
Three
are playing
more?
a very dangerous game right now. He might not look like much, but he's a political genius and a tyrant at the same time.
So what
And
are you
would-
saying, Jed? That we take his ship and leave, or that we fight our way out of here?
What I'm saying is, if we can find a way out of here, we get on my ship, we leave, and we don't come back.
That is
Okay.
problematic. I mean, do we go back to our home eventually, though?
If what
Oh.
your little friend here is saying, no offense, Greenmore, but if he knows y'all know of Ajax, and there is anything happening between the two,
Then he's not sending us home.
Sicarius is a smart man.
Well, do you think he would be agreeable to any sort of lies that we could come up with? Like, oh, Basil is sick, we must take him to the doctor first.
I'd get a little bit more creative than that, V.
Hmm.
My only words
What
of
does he
wisdom.
want? Hmm?
If you can think of a way or find a way to make it seem in his best interest to let us leave, I'd lead with that.
Why don't we just tell him we will take down Ajax?
He doesn't want us to take down Ajax.
He does if he thinks that Ajax is trying to take him down.
Do you really think he believed him? Are you willing to take that risk? As soon as we show
I
our
don't
hands, we have no choice but to act upon whatever the results are.
What do you think he wants most, Jed?
Us out of here.
Besides that, as a person, everyone wants something.
What could a prince possibly want more?
He wants to be a god.
More power. That's what they all want.
They're both
Anybody who
after
has
the
power
same
always
thing.
wants more. It's the way of things.
And based
I
on what
imagine.
we've heard so far, what's the best way to become more powerful than a prince?
The god's blood.
Smart girl.
What if we offer to give him the god's blood then?
But he's already having Ajax look for it.
Well,
Yeah, but now he has doubts about Ajax.
We would have to probably lie and tell him that we found God's blood somewhere. And if we're the only ones who know where it is, then he'll have to leave us alive.
Why don't we tell him that we have a lead on the material plane? That one with the bags was talking about God's seed. Perhaps God's blood and God's seed are connected. We go back, investigate. It's no lie.
It's true, actually.
it's true.
But do we want to really tell him that? I mean,
I also told him that person is now dead.
Yeah, he's
So-
kind of splatter over
He
on
was-
a rock.
He said that people were after him for God's seed. We investigate. We have a lead. Something he does not have.
here's what I'm thinking. I could apologize for the conversation I had earlier and assure him that Ajax will never find the god's blood anyway, and so that it doesn't matter. And then he'll be prompted to ask why, since I think Ajax is out there looking for it for him. In his mind, I imagine, hypothetically, if I was Captain Ajax and I found it, I would just take it myself. Now, we tell him that he'll never find it. He'll have to wonder why, because if Ajax never finds it, then he never gets it. And then we hint at having knowledge of the only place you can get the god's blood, and use that as a bargaining chip.
And do
I
you
could
really
just-
think he'll let us go get it on his behalf, or do you think he would just keep us here as prisoners until we tell him where he thinks it is?
It's a fair point.
I could just
Ed,
say that.
but-
Sorry, go ahead, Greenmore.
I was just gonna see what Jed had to say on the matter. He knows him better than we do.
Mm.
There's two ways I can see this happening. Number one, tell one hell of a lie. Number two, if you can find some way to show a card that he doesn't have, if you can win his favor,
What about a lead with the god seed? Does that sound persuasive?
But we don't even know what that is.
He doesn't know that.
We can tell him exactly what we heard, what we know, how it all happened, and where. That is a
If we
lead.
tell him everything, then he'll
So
have
don't tell him.
no more use for us.
Just tell him we have a lead.
The only thing we have, but we don't know what it does, is that black rock you have. It's curious.
Which we assume is a communication device.
That we
Yes.
assume.
Jed, do you know what this thing?
But if we show it to him,
Good question, Grimoire.
Yeah.
what was that?
Jed, do you know what this is? Point over to Sicarius.
What, the stone?
Yeah.
Well, I'm very hesitant to pull it out right here in the middle of the
Yeah.
place.
Very true.
So I describe it. We found a black stone that the prisoners said that they would communicate or make clicking sounds through it. So we can assume it's some way that they communicate with each other.
It's black. It seems to capture the light around it.
Have you heard of something like this?
let's make this interesting. High or low for your benefit, Rob?
Hi. I'll go high.
The way you described it, you said they would click into it.
As if it was the type of communication, how they spoke or something.
It reminds me of something. I remember seeing creatures once that would find their way home based on clicking. I don't know if it's necessarily a communication tool. It's potentially so much as a map.
Wait, you mean like
So you
very
think,
like shortly under his breath, he'll like get close to Jed and he'll use echolocation very quietly, like very like soft echolocation. I don't like that.
Something like that. Have you tried doing that into the stone?
Hey, Grimor,
No.
come over here.
All right.
Alright.
He'll get close to your pocket.
I open the pocket a little bit for you to kind of reach in.
And he just kind of goes into his pocket and like looks at it.
That's just, I can just visualize this how bad it looks. But anyway,
As Grimoire gives a bit of a click into Sicarius's pocket, you feel the stone begin to vibrate slightly.
It's doing something. What do you see? I'm trying to peek around him.
With your hand on the pocket, you can't see anything from where it is. A moment later, you hear the voice of the prince yell out again. Well, decent shots, my friend, all around. Looks like this game is mine as usual. He turns back and makes his way towards the group.
Panic.
Close the pocket.
Well, dear heroes of our fair city, for such a wonderful deed done, do you accept my offer?
I hate being the bard.
As V begins to open her mouth. That, my friends, is going to be a story for another day.
Oh no!
I'm glad we stopped there.
Oh my god!
Oh,
I
I'm
know.
not happy.
Oh my god! Some
You can plan it out now.
terrible- Yeah, thank God. Oh my god, I can actually do V justice. I was like, oh my god, I'm gonna fail my own character. Just blabber on.
So, next week, will we have a party left? I guess we're going to find out.
God, I hate this guy.
Or will the party rule a new kingdom?
Or will the party roll new characters?
Yeah,
Please no.
exactly.
Bobby, buy me some time.
Hey guys, it's so good to be back and on the mend, as it were, so that I can tell you about Careful Cantrip Platinum. My God, it is so close to being a thing that will be here and have content like stuff and also things. Wow, just so much of the stuff.
Hey, Bobby,
Doing
I
great.
can't wait to
Doing
tell
great
you
so
about.
far.
What is it?
Are
Yeah.
we gonna do Talk Artif tomorrow?
Oh, what a great question.
Mm-hmm.
Careful Cantrip Platinum, guys.
Okay.
Sponsored by Talk Art of Wednesdays.
Mm-hmm.
It's gonna happen. I'm just saying. And yes, I think there probably will be Talk Artif tomorrow for sure. Around 8:30.
Nice. Well played.
Question mark.
Oh, that's
We'll
not
see
what
how
I meant.
Bobby's feeling. How about that? Make
It
sure
was
he-
good having you back.
Oh,
Yeah, we miss
Babby.
Babbitt.
All right. With that said, we are going to wrap up. We're going to do some rating for the evening, so stick around for that because it helps us out. It helps the streamer that we're going to be raiding into. We're going to raid into our friend Phoenix Walkie, a wonderful, wonderful dungeon master in his own right. So go ahead and make sure to put hashtag #CCLoveRaid in the chat as soon as you get over there because we don't do any of the hate raids around here. If one of my mods can drop that into chat, that would be fantastic to do. And let's get this party started, shall we? Oh, it looks like he's doing a little prep, little world building prep. So maybe go over, help him out, see what we can do to help him out on that. But with that said, until the next time I see you guys, we'll have Talk Artif tomorrow, and then of course we're going to be having a lovely, lovely day of Sunday world building, where who knows, maybe we'll buy some nipple pasties. You never know, and also create a world. Was some of those things. We had a blast last week. We're going to have a blast this week. Absolutely. And I saw a question in chat. If there's going to be an after party, we might stop by in our Discord, say what's up for a little bit. So if you want to come hang out with a few of us, then we're going to be over there in our Discord. With that said, that's all I have left. Other than one word of caution to all the adventurers out there. Whether curious of your fellow party members or face to face with a monarchy, death or life looming overhead, I beg of you all one word of caution. Be careful out there. You can trip. We'll see you in the next one, guys. Love all your faces.
Bye, homies.
Take care.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye bye.
Bye now.